I'm an American who's been living in New Zealand for 16 years now, and it's only recently that I've sort of remembered how to enjoy the outdoors, because life got in the way and all those other things. So today, I thought I would take you to a bit of a different location than we normally have these walks and talks in. So for anyone local who enjoys playing the Guess Where Anna Is game, you can have a look at the description. I'll put the location in bold letters or in capital letters in there so you can see it amongst all the other stuff. I am sure that by now, though, we've been recording for a few seconds, someone will have recognized this patch of sand and ocean. Someone always does. It's funny, I grew up in the Midwest in the US, in Illinois, which is a standard kind of suburb in Illinois. And of course, we were very far from any kind of coast area. We're kind of smack dab in the middle of the country, very far from the ocean. So we were never beachgoers because it was such a mission to actually get to a beach. But here, living in New Zealand, I think almost anywhere you live, you're never really that far from the beach. So just by nature of living here, you kind of turn into a beachgoer, I think. We did live close to Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is cool. For anyone who hasn't been there, it can be kind of sometimes hard to describe just how big it is. You can stand on the beach in Lake Michigan and look out on the horizon and not see the other side because of how big the lake is. It's like looking out at the ocean. It's really, really cool. So yeah, if you live in New Zealand, you'll probably live close to a beach. And it's easy to sort of take it for granted as well, but it's a wonderful thing. Sometimes, I think depending on your mood, sometimes you might want to walk around in a dense forest or a dense bush somewhere and hide away from the world. And sometimes you want to be out in the open in a loud place like this with the waves crashing. When I watch this video back, if I can hear the waves through the microphone, then I won't put music with this video, so you can just listen to this because it's so nice. It's a really good day for recording as well because it's overcast, so I don't have to worry about where the sun is. The sun here in New Zealand, I think, can really catch tourists out. Like anyone who hasn't experienced the sun here in New Zealand can find out the hard way that it can be very, very strong. So you can get sunburnt here in the middle of the winter. You have to be very, very careful. I remember I worked with this Irish lady, I think she was Irish, many years ago, and the water's gonna get me. And we went to have lunch. We were sitting outside. It was the middle of winter, but it was a nice winter's day. It was warm and it was sunny. And we were outside for maximum 1 hour in the middle of winter. It was sort of chilly enough that you still had to wear like long sleeves. And she got so sunburned that she actually had to take like a couple of days off work to recover. It can really get you. So we actually just got back from skiing, which is very unusual for us. It was our first time as a family going up to the mountain and skiing. I will show you some videos from it. I took some videos. I'm just trying to put it together in a bit of a creative way. And so On the first day we were there, it rained the whole time. Like it was a downpour. Still good for skiing because it made the snow quite like crunchy and stuff. So good for learning, but wet and miserable. And the second day, it sort of rained a third of the time, snowed a third of the time, and then the last third was kind of a combination of hail and a little bit of sun. I got sunburned skiing when it was sunny for just a little bit of time, and it was raining and hailing and snowing the rest of the time. So you cannot underestimate the sun here. It's for a combination of reasons. So it's quite strong in the summer because the southern hemisphere in the summer is just closer to the sun because of the way the earth rotates. And the ozone layer is a little bit thinner in the sun as well. But generally, no matter the season, it can be strong, I think, because due to the simple fact that there's just not as much pollution here in New Zealand as there is in other countries. So the air is very clean, and which is really, really good. But it kind of means that there's even less stuff to block the worst of the UV rays from the sun. So you have to be careful. It's just one of those little things that I've never really heard anybody talk about in New Zealand tourism style videos. I think you have to really live here for a while to fully appreciate those kinds of things. And it goes the other way as well. I worked with this guy, Kiwi guy, and we were talking about the sun, and he said that he took his family once to either Disneyland or Disney World. I don't remember which one, in America. And it was a summer day, so hot. And he, toward the end of the day, suddenly realized that he forgot to put sunscreen on his whole family, on his kids, on himself. And he was like, oh my gosh, like checking them to see who was burnt worse than the other, and who needed attention first. And nobody had any sunburn at all. And coming from New Zealand, he was like, what? Looking up around to see if there was some kind of dome over the sky or something. He was so surprised. I thought that was really funny. It was drizzling a little while ago. I was a little bit worried about my camera because it's got no waterproof rating at all. But if the weather holds up, I'll try to show you some shops around here as well, which will definitely give away where I am if you haven't guessed it yet. It's funny just how changeable the weather can be in New Zealand, at least where I live in the Wellington region. I mean, this winter, there were days where it was sunny, in the morning and quite warm. And then by the afternoon, it would be really, really cold and rainy and miserable. And then the next day it'd be like another kind of weather. So you can definitely get pretty much all four seasons, at least within the same week, if not within the same day, sometimes in Wellington. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned a little bit that I only recently sort of started enjoying the outdoors and appreciating it for what it is here in this beautiful country. And I think one thing that I've just never heard people talk about in these sorts of videos is that I think living in New Zealand, you have to eventually get to a point where you genuinely enjoy the outdoors and you appreciate outdoor activities. Like I mentioned, we went skiing and we all decided that that's now our favorite thing to do ever. The only problem is it's really expensive unless you plan ahead and get early bird specials and things, which we're definitely going to try to do for next year, but we didn't plan that well this year, so We can't really do it again until next year. So we love it so much now. And there are a whole heap of other things I've sort of gotten into related to the outdoors as well, that for a few years there I didn't really appreciate. And when my kids were first born, and that's just because life kind of got in the way and things, I didn't really have time to just be outside all the time. And when my kids were born, and when they got kind of old enough to get a little bit stir crazy, if I just kept them at home, I sort of found myself really at a loss for what to do. Because at the end of the day, in New Zealand, in my opinion, there's not that much to do unless you decide to take full advantage of the outdoors. So with my little kids, I was kind of for a while just really at a loss as to what to do, because we live around one mall, and it's not a very big mall, and after you go to it a few times, it gets kind of boring. So you don't want to go to the mall all the time. And you don't necessarily want to be spending money in cafes or restaurants or whatever, like kids play, like indoor playground areas and stuff all the time. So if you're not spending money, there's not much else left to do other than enjoy the outdoors. And that took me a little while to, I guess, kind of come to terms with, I guess. I don't know if this is making sense. Like, if you didn't grow up in a very outdoorsy kind of family, you're not necessarily naturally an outdoorsy sort of person. So it took me a little while to get into appreciating all the activities that you can actually do just by going outside. And New Zealand is amazing for that, like incredible. So we just got back from skiing. I could, if I wanted to, go, I don't know, kayaking or something. Well, maybe not right here because the waves are a little bit big, but I can go cycling, I can go hiking, I can do all sorts of stuff just by going outside and using a little bit of imagination and consciously being a little bit more present, I think. So I mentioned I struggled a bit finding things to do when my kids first got old enough to get a little bit stir crazy if I just get them inside. But that was just a me problem. My kids, and I think all kids, all they need is a bit of sand, a bit of dirt, a bit of water, a bit of freedom just to get really messy and muddy and what have you, and they're fine. Like, we went to this beach actually about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. It was a really nice sunny day. And my kids just played in the sand and running away from the waves and stuff for like 3 hours, 4 hours. And they would have stayed even longer. It's just that we had to get home eventually. So, I don't know. Sometimes I like to watch my kids do that sort of stuff because it sort of reminds me that maybe at our core, that's all we kind of need. Like, even if we're big kids, we just need the outdoors and a little bit of imagination, and off we go. All right, I'm going to try to show you some shops around here before it starts raining again. All right, we're going to go for a little bit of a walk through the local town area, and we'll see how this goes. I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious and really hope that nobody actually sees me, because I don't want to come across like some kind of influencer. Because not only am I holding a camera, although it is quite a small camera, it's the DJI Pocket 3, and it is very small, it can fit in your pocket, hence the name. Not only am I holding a camera, but I'm also doing the ninja walk to try to minimize the kind of jarring movements. I really need to sort that out long term. I think I need a camera that can mitigate some of the kind of bounce movements that you get when you walk. And I also need a camera that's got some sort of waterproof rating, just for all of the rain and drizzle and stuff that we normally get around here. Okay, which way do I go? I'll go this way. So this is all right beside the beach. I'm trying to be really conscious and not get too close to anybody when I'm recording, because not everybody wants to be on YouTube. So there's quite a nice skateboard park just here. Not really anybody out at the moment because it has been drizzling. And there's a pretty cute playground, kids playground just over here, which we went to a couple of weeks ago. Somebody actually recognized me here from YouTube, which was kind of nice because it was the first time that someone recognized me outside of Pack and Save. I don't know if it's just because the people who view this channel also quite enjoy, you know, cheap prices and things that they have at Pack and Save like I do, but so far, apart from here, that's the only place that people have recognized me from YouTube. Oh, and one other place. I went to a birthday party and people recognized me there. I guess I am a little bit on the recognizable side right now because I'm wearing my bright pink hat for winter. I'll have to dig out my bright pink sun hat for summer, and then I can be equally as recognizable. Right, so we're just gonna go up here and we're gonna cross the road. I think I'm headed in the right direction. There should be a little strip of shops and cafes that I can show you. Across here, definitely, if anyone local has not recognized where I am, you will have recognized it by now. Here we go. This is the little main street. It's not big. It's just a few cafes and a couple of shops. They have like a Saturday market here. Either Saturday or Sunday. And they close off the street to cars. Hi. Oops, I'm okay, thanks. Might have to find a place to get an actual coffee. Oh, there's people walking by me. Every time someone walks by, I stop talking. So yeah, there's not a heck of a lot to see, but we'll see how good the coffees are. I do quite like this town. I love driving out here. Every time I go on the motorway in this direction, I just feel like I can relax a little bit more. Like I get this sort of vacation-y vibe come over me. I don't know if it's partially because I don't live here. So any place that's different to where I live feels a little bit vacation-y. That's probably part of it, but I think that generally, Okay, am I going to get run over by these cars? No. Okay. Generally, there is a little bit of a kind of relaxed vacation-y vibe around here because it is by such a wonderful beach. Some kind of bits and bobs shop. Another shop. It's kind of closed down. Is this closed down? 50-50. I don't know. Maybe someone local can tell me if that's a closed down restaurant. It's some kind of fish and chips takeaway shop. Barber shop. We're not going to film in the windows because people will stare at us. And we are afraid of people. Some kind of salon or... This is a kebab shop. Ooh, a liquor shop. Sushi. I haven't bought sushi in a while. I quite like sushi. It's expensive though. Kind of better off just making your own, I think. Didn't used to be. I used to eat sushi all the time when I first moved to New Zealand in 2010. But now even in one of those big chains like St. Pierre's, it's supposed to be kind of budget. It is not budget. It's quite expensive, in my opinion. Where are we gonna get this coffee? I think we'll go back and walk along the main road. And we'll find a coffee shop here. Usually we kind of go to one of these places when I have the kids because I feel like the closer we are to the beach physically, the less they will mind all of the sand that my kids bring into the coffee shop. Alright, we're just gonna keep walking in a nonchalant kind of way and not make eye contact with any person so they don't get upset at me videoing. Blackwood Bakes. Are there coffee shops still there? I see some chairs outside, so let's have a look. So this must be apartments. Or is it a hotel? I don't know. Let's see the name here. Ocean Apartments. It could be. I'll have to look it up. There must be some Airbnbs up there. If they are just apartments. Because it's such a prime location. Okay, this looks like a coffee shop. I'm gonna go in here. Oh, I hope it's open. All right, here we go, just in time. I got my coffee and it started drizzling, so I better head back to the car. Let's see how it is. It's not bad. It's a little meh. But my standards are pretty high. Living in Wellington, there's a lot of like really good coffee. So it's all right. It's not bad. See if we can cross here without getting run over. So I don't normally indulge in buying myself coffees, but some people have bought me a virtual one, which I'm so appreciative of. So that's why I've got this. It's okay coffee. I'm still happy to have it though, because it's nice and warm in my hand, and you know, it just sort of feels fancy to walk around with a coffee. All right, here we are walking back to the car, and we are right on time because it started to drizzle again. So we're walking right alongside the beach. The beach is just there. See? head back and head on the drive back home. I'll have to video the drive at some point, like just a drive, and see if you enjoy that, because it's a relatively new motorway that runs basically from my house to here that didn't used to be there. Like, they finished construction, I want to say a couple years back, maybe a little bit longer back, but yeah, it's still relatively new, and it's really nice. It just makes it so much faster and easier to get here, and the view is so, so pretty. But then again, this is New Zealand. Most views in New Zealand are very pretty. Not a heck of a lot of people out today because it is a weekday and the weather is not amazing. It can get quite busy here on the weekend, and especially if the sun's out and it's quite nice, you know. But you can go to many places in New Zealand that feel pretty remote, even if they're not actually. Like, if you get away from the main cities, Auckland, Wellington, you know, Christchurch, etc., and you kind of get out more into the country, you can find lots and lots of very quiet, very beautiful spots. This is that skate park that we walked past before, so we are headed in the right direction. Oh yeah, those apartments I was talking about before, I wonder if some of them are Airbnbs, and I'm kind of of two minds about that sort of thing. I remember we stayed in Christchurch at an Airbnb that was in a townhouse complex that was all behind this big gate. Like, it's its own little hidden away complex. And it was quite good because I could let the kids out of the townhouse and not be worried about them, because they would still be within the gated area of the whole complex. And I thought to myself, that would actually be quite nice to live. It would be a pretty nice place to live if you had a young family and there were other young families living there, because you could just let your kids run around and not worry about their safety, really. But we ran into one family that did live there, and they had kids around the same age as ours. And they said that they found it quite difficult because most of those townhouses were actually Airbnbs. So there were no sort of permanent residents and permanent families that the kids could become friends with and get close to and stuff, which I thought was quite a shame, you know. I mean, it's nice to be able to stay at an Airbnb like that, but it's not nice that it's sort of at the expense of the local community as such. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling in a car park, and I don't know if I'm making any sense. All right, I'm almost at my car. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I will see you next time. Hopefully the next video I put out will be the one that shows a bit of skiing and other kind of adventures that we've been having, because I think you'll really enjoy that. See ya. Bye.